Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital spoilers suggest the ABC soap just dropped its preview video for the week of June 23rd to 27th, and it's explosive on all accounts. The clip that closed the promo was a fierce face-off between exes, Willow Tate and Michael Corinthos. They are seemingly in the living room of the Quartermaine Estate gatehouse, the family's old dwelling, when Michael warns Willow by saying, "If you marry Drew, I will make sure you will never see our kids again." Yikes! Considering Michael was awarded full guardianship of Wiley Corinthos and Amelia Corinthos recently, this is a threat that Willow should heed. Unfortunately, Willow's mental state isn't exactly stable, as she continues to be manipulated by Drew Kane. It's uncertain as to why she's in the gatehouse or Quartermaine Estate to begin with, as during the week of June 23rd to 27th, Michael was not sure if the kids should see their mom, despite Amelia asking for her at bedtime one night. Did Willow sneak onto the property, or was she invited? That seems unclear at this point. But what does seem clear is that Willow will likely inform Michael during their exchange of her marriage plans with Drew. Will she have a ring by the time she sees Michael? Will he notice it? That's hard to say, but this wedding plan from Drew and Willow is a bad idea on so many levels. The whole idea stems from the thought that as a married couple, they'd look far more unified against single dad Michael. This is a legal scheme that Michael and Willow once used to secure custody of Michael back when Willow's twin sister and bio mom of Wiley, Nellie Benson, was fighting for custody. The idea at first glance may seem good, but Drew and his crazy ideas are what landed Willow in this predicament in the first place. Or so that seems to be the reason, although fans know that Judge Eva Heron was bought and paid for by Jen Sidwell. Regardless, it's Willow's relationship with Drew that launched Michael's need for sole custody in the first place, as Michael was more than willing to compromise as long as Willow kept her relationship with Drew separate from the kids. In fact, this has always been a bargaining chip for Michael all along. However, Willow never wavered where Drew and their romance are concerned. Now, Willow may not even get to marry Drew if Tracy Quartermaine, or anyone else for that matter, spills about his affair with Nina Reeves. If Willow starts making wedding plans and doesn't back down to Michael's warning, Michael may start making plans of his own. With sole custody rights, Michael can take off with the children on a jet plane, as he had intended to do if he lost the custody battle. With both Corinthos and Quartermaine money and power, Michael, Wiley, and Amelia could set up a family home anywhere in the world, far away from Willow, and she'd never see her kids again. Now that likely won't happen, as Michael just returned to Port Charles, but the theatrics of a threat like this and Willow's reaction certainly make for great daytime drama, right? Still, General Hospital spoilers remind fans that there is more than one way to skin a cat, so perhaps Michael's strategy wouldn't be taking off with the children. Rather, sabotage Drew and Willow in other ways. Then again, he may refuse Willow visitations in the meantime, which may only trigger a quickie wedding so that they can move forward with the appeal that much faster. General Hospital spoilers report Jen Sidwell stunned Sonny Corinthos by coming half clean this week, admitting his goal to dismantle Sonny's influence in Port Charles while sidestepping full accountability for past attacks, like the penthouse bombing that nearly killed Michael Corinthos. Want more General Hospital news? Get updates on the latest General Hospital news straight to your inbox. Website your email. Subscribe. We use your personal data for interest-based advertising, as outlined in our privacy notice. Sonny, perceiving Sidwell's words as a direct threat, walked away, telling him to stay out of his path, but his steely resolve signals he won't back down. With Sidwell's audacious play to buy Sonny's peers and control the town's underbelly, the stage is set for a high-stakes showdown. What will Sonny do next, and will Sidwell's half-truths ignite a war that engulfs Port Charles? Sidwell's bold move sparks Sonny's fury. Sidwell's partial confession, delivered with a smug edge in their tense meeting, revealed his ambition to end Sonny's reign but dodged specifics about his role in the bombing or other schemes. Sonny, fresh from heart surgery and eyeing mob retirement, saw through Sidwell's veiled threat, refusing to cede ground. Posts online highlight fan interest, with one noting, "Sonny's not rolling over for Sidwell." With his history of outmaneuvering enemies, Sonny might rally Jason Morgan or Brick to dig deeper for proof of Sidwell's involvement in the attack. Will Sonny's defiance escalate into a mob power play? Or will he play smarter to protect his family? JH spoilers leak what's next for Sonny's counterattack? Sonny's refusal to bend suggests a calculated response. He could leverage his 5 family's ties to box Sidwell out, possibly orchestrating a sting to expose his shady dealings, like the Esplanade project with Drew Quartermaine. Alternatively, Mayor Laura Collins, wary of Sidwell's influence, might align with Sonny, as hinted in recent episodes, to block his takeover. If Sonny uncovers evidence, perhaps via Damian Spinelli's hacking, that Sidwell set the stage for Michael's near-death experience, as some fans speculate, it could spark a brutal retaliation. Will Sonny's next move be a strategic chess play, or a violent strike that risks everything? A war that could consume Port Charles. Sidwell's approach, avoiding full admission of his crimes, sets a dangerous precedent. If Sonny strikes back, Sidwell's ties to Jordan Ashford's undercover WSB op could complicate matters, pulling in Anna Devane. The Corinthos family, including Carly Spencer, might face fallout, which has always remained a primary drive for Sonny to stay in the business out of fear that any weakness on his part would be exploited and end up harming his loved ones. Will Sidwell's blatant admission that he's out to pick Sonny apart lead the mob boss to unleash hell? Or can he outsmart his foe without plunging Port Charles into chaos? Keep checking back for more GH news and spoilers to see how this plays out. General Hospital spoilers and updates tease a theory has surfaced on social media. One that may draw from the traditional soap opera theme of discovering a long-lost child. The writers of GH definitely enjoy exploring that storyline, making it understandable why some fans might speculate that yet another long-lost child narrative is forthcoming. General Hospital spoilers. A girl in every port? There is a possibility that Drew could have another son out there somewhere, a love child from a one-night stand, the girl in every port scenario since he was a Navy SEAL. Although his late son Oscar Nero was from an apparent actual relationship with Kim Nero, one never knows about sailors. Oddly, Oscar would have been around the same age as Kai Taylor is now, since Oscar dated Jocelyn Jacks in her first serious relationship. It's understandable why fans would perceive a father-to-son bond with Kai the way Drew is treating him. Although honestly, his actual daughter Emily Scout Quartermaine has been getting the short end of the daddy stick lately. Kai's life was thrown into turmoil. Kai's life was turned upside down due to a career-ending football injury. It was Drew who stepped up as Kai's savior, providing him with a second chance through an innovative procedure. Although that surgery didn't enable Kai to return to the field, it did enhance his overall condition. Kai holds no resentment towards Drew and appreciates that he explored every possible avenue. Now Drew is offering Kai a new opportunity through a paid internship, indicating that there must be a unique connection between them. Of course, it might also be something subconscious tied to the loss of Oscar. After all, he would be around the same age as Kai is now. Kai has a bond to Drew as well despite the skepticism surrounding Drew, including from Trina Robinson. It's evident that Kai holds Congressman Kane in high regard. Drew appears to be obsessed with assisting Kai and shaping him into the individual he envisions. Additionally, Kai seems to have an unusual attraction to Drew, leading to rampant speculation on social media that Drew could potentially be his biological father. A twist like that cannot be dismissed, particularly since the GH writers have yet to establish a family background for Kai on screen. For Kai to become a significant character who remains in the storyline, he genuinely requires a stronger connection to Port Charles. On the other hand, long-lost child stories have been frequent in recent years. That being said, stories about long-lost children have become somewhat cliched in recent years, leading many viewers to oppose the idea of connecting Drew and Kai as family. With the revelation that Giovanni Gio Palmieri is the now-adult son of Dante Falconeri and Brooke Lynn Quartermaine, for instance. Additionally, Drew has plenty on his plate already without the complication of a child he never knew existed. In other words, there might not be any reason to worry about an unexpected Daddy Drew storyline, at least for the time being. However, General Hospital spoilers indicate that Kai will continue to be involved in Drew's life, so keep an eye out for updates on how this will impact his relationship with Trina. Be sure to catch up on everything happening with GH right now. Come back here often for General Hospital spoilers, news and updates. Lulu just blew up several lives by revealing Joe's true parentage on General Hospital, but keen viewers just spotted a clue that might get revenge on Lulu in the worst way imaginable. Mother knows best. Once the literal dust from Joe's smashed violin settled, Brooke Lynn took her rage out on the person responsible for it all, Lulu. She begged her childhood nemesis not to go digging into her teen pregnancy and adoption, But Lulu didn't listen, asserting that Dante had the right to know he had a son. Once Lulu figured out that son was Gio, there was no hope in things staying a summer camp secret. Now Brooklyn is out for blood from anyone who kept Gio a secret. She tore into her grandmother Gloria, kicked her mom Lois out of the mansion, and slapping Lulu across the face wasn't quite enough payback. Brooklyn hired Port Charles's newest attorney Marco to dig up dirt on someone. But that someone wasn't Lulu. "What do you want with a dead woman?" Marco asked Brooklyn as she peered at a photo of the late Dr. Britt Westbourne, and now her revenge plot makes sense. Join the Soap Hub community and make your opinion matter. Comment. Longtime GH viewers may remember that it was Britt who gave birth to Rocco back in 2014. Despite claiming to have gotten pregnant by Nicholas, Britt actually stole one of Lulu and Dante's embryos from the hospital, and the result was Rocco, who Britt originally named Ben. The entire ordeal devastated the Falconaries, but between Thiebaud's upcoming GH return and Brooklyn's determination for revenge, things may turn out worse than anyone could imagine. If Brooklyn uncovers that Britt is not only alive, but Rocco's actual mother, she would be taking away a son from Lulu the way she believes Lulu took a son away from her. Do you think Britt is Rocco's biological mother all along? Let us know in the comments. General Hospital spoilers. Drew's shocking paternity bombshell. Is his son already in Port Charles? Recent General Hospital buzz is swirling with speculation, and fans think they've cracked the next big paternity twist. Viewers are convinced that a young man already living in Port Charles could be the secret biological child of Drew Kane, and it's sparking heated theories and emotional predictions across the soap community. While GH hasn't confirmed anything yet, the clues are stacking up, and longtime viewers know that where there's smoke, there's often fire, especially when it comes to long-lost children and dramatic reunions. Drew Kane's past comes back to haunt him? Drew Kane has had a complicated history since arriving in Port Charles, not just because of his shared face with twin Jason Morgan, but because so much of his backstory remains a mystery. Though he's built strong relationships with characters like Sam McCall and Carly Spencer, there are still large gaps in his past, particularly during the years he was presumed dead and used as a military operative. Could it be possible that during that time Drew fathered a child he never knew about? Many fans think it's more than possible, they think it's probable. Gio Palmieri in the spotlight theories gain momentum. A lot of fan speculation has centered around newcomer Gio Palmieri. Introduced as a talented young man with a mysterious past and strong ties to Brooklyn Quartermaine and Dante Falconeri, Gio seems like a perfect candidate for a major identity twist. With his charisma, moral center and strong family values, he already embodies many traits fans associate with Drew. Though Gio believes he was raised by a soldier who died in combat and an opera singer mother, that story could easily be a cover, especially if someone was hiding the truth to protect him or to keep him away from dangerous secrets in Drew's past. If Drew was captured, manipulated, or mind-wiped during his time with the memory mapping program, a child born during that period could easily have slipped through the cracks. Could Drew have fathered Gio without ever knowing? It wouldn't be the first time GH pulled off a shocking DNA reveal. Emotional fallout. What would this mean for Drew? If Gio turns out to be Drew's biological son, the emotional impact would be massive. Drew has often felt like the outsider in Port Charles, particularly in the Quartermaine family. While he's bonded with Scout, his daughter with Sam, Drew hasn't had a storyline that allows him to fully step into a father figure role again. Learning he has an adult son would flip Drew's world upside down, especially if that son has already formed connections with people Drew knows and trusts. The awkwardness of catching up on years lost, dealing with the anger of a child who might feel abandoned, and trying to build a relationship from scratch could provide some rich drama. Joe's reaction: embracing or rejecting the truth. Joe's response to the bombshell could go in several directions. On one hand, he might be thrilled to finally learn where he comes from, especially if he's always felt like a piece of the puzzle was missing. On the other hand, Gio may reject Drew out of loyalty to the people who raised him, or out of anger over having been lied to. If the show chooses to go with a rocky father-son arc, we might see Gio push Drew away at first, forcing Drew to work hard to earn his trust and respect. Watching a man who's spent his life protecting others try to earn the love of his own son would be a deeply human storyline. Family connections and complications. Another layer to this twist is how it would affect the Quartermaine family dynamic. Drew already has a complicated relationship with members of the Q family, And Gio being his son would instantly make him a Quartermain by blood. Would Ned and Olivia accept Gio with open arms, or would they be wary? There's also Brooke Lynn to consider. Her existing bond with Gio could become even more meaningful if he turns out to be her cousin. What begins as a supportive friendship could evolve into a tight-knit family relationship. And what about Carly, who's recently grown closer to Drew? If she supports him through this discovery, it could strengthen their bond. Or if Drew becomes distracted with Gio, it could open up cracks in their relationship. Is this the start of a redemption arc for Drew? Drew's recent decisions, especially his actions against Nina and his obsession with corporate power, have pushed him into morally gray territory. A storyline involving a long-lost son could soften his edges and help him reevaluate what really matters. Being a father again might remind him of his core values and pull him out of his darker impulses. Final thoughts: will GH go there? While nothing is confirmed yet, all signs point to a major reveal involving Gio and Drew. The emotional setup, the character connections, and the fans' enthusiasm all suggest that General Hospital is laying the groundwork for something huge. Whether or not Gio turns out to be Drew's biological son, one thing is clear. There's a story brewing that will shake up lives and test loyalties. And fans? They're ready for the twist. A new family tree. How Joe's paternity could change everything in Port Charles. If GH decides to reveal that Gio Palmieri is Drew Kane's biological son, it won't just be a personal revelation. It'll be a ripple effect through the entire landscape of Port Charles. This paternity twist could redefine several relationships, pit characters against each other, and give Gio a meaningful place in the ongoing Quartermain saga. Let's take a deeper look at how this potential bombshell could evolve. Joe's ties to the Quartermains, a bloodline revelation. The Quartermain family has always been a central pillar in General Hospital lore, and inserting Gio into that legacy would bring fresh energy to the clan. Drew, though biologically tied to the family, has often been treated like an outsider due to his lack of scheming and corporate ruthlessness. But Gio? He's young, ambitious, and already close to Brooke Lynn, a key Quartermain player. If the writers wanted to create a new generation of Quartermains who represent a mix of old values and new perspectives, Gio could be the ideal anchor. He might even become the bridge between the more traditional Quartermains like Ned and Tracy, and the more emotionally driven members like Olivia and Brooke Lynn. Whether he jump headfirst into ELQ business or stay independent is another layer of intrigue. Drew's redemption. A second chance at fatherhood. Let's be honest, Drew hasn't had the warmest reception from fans lately. His recent behavior has leaned cold, calculating, and occasionally vengeful. Some fans believe he's lost his moral compass, especially after his dealings with Nina Reeves and his increasingly aggressive attitude toward personal rivals. This new paternity storyline could be the reset he needs. Discovering that he unknowingly fathered Gio years ago could stop Drew in his tracks and force him to reevaluate who he wants to be. Would he embrace fatherhood with open arms? Or would he struggle to believe he deserves the title after all the secrets and mistakes? A heartfelt redemption arc involving Gio could be the storyline Drew needs to recenter as a hero, not just a power-hungry businessman. Sam McCall and Scout's reaction. Jealousy or unity? Drew already shares a daughter, Scout, with Sam McCall. Their co-parenting dynamic has mostly been smooth, but the introduction of another child, especially one older and more independent, could bring complications. Would Scout feel threatened by Joe's sudden entrance into their family? Would Sam support Drew's effort to bond with Gio? Or would she view it as a distraction from his responsibilities to Scout? There's also the chance that Gio and Scout could bond, forming a close sibling relationship that pulls at fans' heartstrings. A new Kane family unit might be exactly what Drew needs to ground himself. What if Carly isn't so supportive? Carly Spencer has become increasingly close to Drew, and the two have shared a romantic connection for months. However, Carly doesn't always handle surprises well, especially ones that might threaten her place in someone's life. If Drew throws himself into a newfound relationship with his son, Carly may feel sidelined. And if Joe's mother ends up being someone Carly has a history with like Hayden Barnes or even a completely new face, jealousy could flare up. This storyline could test Carly and Drew in ways they haven't been tested yet, and potentially lead to their unraveling if Carly feels replaced or unimportant. Would Sonny get involved? Of course he would. In Port Charles, there are few things Sonny Corinthos doesn't eventually get mixed up in. especially if Carly or Drew are involved. If Sonny learns about Joe's possible connection to Drew, he might investigate Joe's background or even try to protect him from the media circus that often follows Quartermaine scandals. More likely, though, Sonny would get involved if Joe's paternity threatens anyone in his inner circle. Suppose Joe's past has darker layers. What if he unknowingly has ties to one of Sonny's enemies? Sonny's protective instincts could kick in, sparking tension with Drew over how to handle the truth. The mystery mother. Who did Drew hook up with? This storyline doesn't work without an explanation of who Joe's mother is. Was she someone from Drew's Navy SEAL days? A woman he met during his time under Helena Cassadine's control? Or someone in Port Charles with a secret of her own? The mystery of Joe's origins opens up another exciting arc. Finding his mother. If she's alive, is she coming back? Did she know about Drew's identity when she gave birth? Has she been hiding the truth from both of them for her own reasons? A dramatic reunion between Drew, Gio, and a mystery woman would add even more fuel to this fire. Final thought, a legacy in the making. If General Hospital does decide to make Gio Palmieri Drew Kane's son, it could mark the beginning of a brand new era. It would allow for emotional healing, personal growth, and unexpected family dynamics. It's a story about loss, connection, identity, and second chances. In true soap opera fashion, this isn't just about DNA, it's about legacy. And if GH leans into this twist, fans are in for one unforgettable ride. Unexpected connections. Is Gio already closer to Drew than anyone realizes? One element that could make this twist truly effective is if General Hospital reveals that Gio and Drew have already established a natural bond without even knowing the truth. Maybe Drew has been mentoring Gio professionally or offering him advice, not realizing he's talking to his own child. If Gio has been drawn to Drew's strength or moral code, there's poetic irony in the fact that blood calls to blood, even unconsciously. The realization that they are family would not only shock both of them, but could deepen their relationship immediately. That sort of slow-build emotional connection would resonate with viewers and provide a powerful aha moment when the paternity reveal hits. This is the kind of long-lost familial drama JH fans love, rooted in genuine emotion, surprise, and tangled pasts. The Brooklyn factor. Friend, cousin, or something more. Another fascinating angle lies in Joe's existing dynamic with Brooklyn Quartermaine. If he turns out to be Drew's son, that would make him her cousin, adding a whole new emotional weight to their relationship. Brooklyn has taken a protective stance with Gio, and if he's family, that protection will become even fiercer. But what if the show has been subtly building toward a romantic angle between them? Suddenly discovering they're blood-related could deliver a major curveball, and one that would deeply impact both of them. While not unprecedented in soaps for two characters to narrowly avoid romantic entanglements due to late-breaking DNA bombshells, GH could use this as a plot point to explore awkwardness, regret, and readjusting boundaries between characters. Quartermaine corporate wars. Joe's inheritance dilemma. Let's not forget the Quartermaine money. If Drew is Joe's father, that makes Gio part of the family with claims to the ELQ fortune. While Drew has never chased power the way Ned or Michael has, Gio might have other ideas, or be used by someone who does. Perhaps Tracy sees potential in grooming Gio to be her legacy's future. Or maybe Valentine Cassadine sees Gio as a pawn to pit against Michael, using him to stir internal conflict within the family business. Even if Gio himself isn't interested in power, he may find himself pulled into the war over ELQ. Suddenly, he's not just a kid with a guitar. He's a player in the high-stakes game of wealth, betrayal, and strategy that defines Port Charles's elite. Scout struggles, a new family dynamic forms. One undercurrent that could fuel this storyline is Scout Kane's reaction. She's been Drew's only known child for years, and this new development could make her feel left behind or forgotten. If Drew becomes overly focused on bonding with Gio, Scout might act out or isolate herself emotionally. This could create a layered story about sibling rivalry, identity, and insecurity. While Scout is younger, she's still old enough to understand the complexities of family, and that could lead to a touching arc about her trying to find her own place in her father's evolving life. On the flip side, there's potential for Gio and Scout to form a powerful sibling bond. Their relationship could be a bright spot amid the drama, one where each of them finds strength in the other, helping to define who they are both individually and together. Could Gio be hiding secrets of his own? While much of the focus is on Drew's shock and adjustment to possibly having a son, the story could take an even deeper turn if Gio isn't being entirely honest himself. Could he already know Drew's his father and be waiting for the right moment to confront him? Or perhaps Gio has some unresolved anger or abandonment issues stemming from his unknown past. If he discovers Drew is his father, he may feel betrayed, even if Drew never knew about him. That emotional fallout could be intense and unpredictable. Alternatively, Gio may have been warned by his mother to stay away from Drew, hinting that his mother has her own motives or history with the Kane family. What lies ahead? A shocking DNA reveal on the horizon. So how might the truth come out? A common GH tactic is the accidental DNA test. Perhaps Scout needs medical treatment and Joe's a match, leading to questions about their genetic compatibility. Or maybe the test is deliberate, spurred by suspicions from Carly, Brooklyn, or even Tracy. There's also the dramatic confrontation route. Maybe Joe's mother arrives in Port Charles and drops the bomb herself, forcing Drew to reconcile with a chapter of his life he barely remembers. No matter how the reveal happens, it's bound to send shockwaves throughout Port Charles. Everyone will have an opinion, and the ripple effects could touch the lives of Michael, Sam, Carly, Olivia, and more. Final word, a legacy rewritten? If General Hospital wants to push forward with a compelling, character-driven arc that reinvigorates Drew and adds dimension to Gio, this paternity twist is the perfect move. It's emotional, messy, unexpected, and it taps into the deep-rooted themes of family, redemption, and identity that keep fans hooked. With the right pacing, powerful performances, and emotional depth, the reveal of Drew Kane's long-lost son could be one of the year's most memorable storylines. A mother's secret. Who kept Gio from Drew all these years? If Gio truly is Drew's biological son, one of the biggest mysteries will be, who is his mother, and why has she stayed silent? The possibilities are tantalizing. Could it be a one-night fling Drew doesn't even remember due to his memory loss? Or perhaps a woman from his military past, someone he deeply cared for but was told had died, or who vanished without a trace. There's a possibility that she made a conscious choice to raise Gio without Drew's influence, possibly believing Drew was dangerous, dead, or incapable of raising a child. Such a reveal could drive high-stakes emotional conflict. If Drew finds out a woman intentionally withheld his son from him, he may struggle with bitterness and confusion. And depending on how the story is framed, it might also make Drew confront his own choices and regrets, and perhaps some truths about the man he used to be before Port Charles. If the mother is still alive, she may re-enter the scene, not for romance, but to protect her son from what she sees as a dangerous legacy. That tension could keep the drama thick, especially if she warns Gio to avoid getting too close to Drew. Gio torn between two worlds. Gio, for his part, could face an emotional battle of his own. On the one hand, he may feel drawn to Drew, someone who might finally explain why he's always felt a certain emptiness or disconnect. On the other, if he was raised to believe Drew abandoned him or was a threat, that internal conflict could simmer into resentment. As Drew tries to welcome Gio into his life, Gio could start to lash out or reject him, all while building secret connections to the core domains or bonding with Scout. This kind of emotional push-pull is perfect for a slow-burning, high-stakes father-son relationship that evolves across months, not days. Other residents react. Carly, Sam, Olivia, and Ned weigh in. When something this explosive drops, General Hospital doesn't keep the ripples small. Carly might see the story as a chance to rally Drew and help him feel grounded, possibly strengthening their emotional connection once again. Could this bring Carly and Drew back into a more romantic zone? Then there's Sam McCall, the mother of Drew's daughter. While she's happily moved on, Sam might have complicated feelings. Not jealousy necessarily, but concern for how this new family member could impact Scout and the family dynamic.